Hey, I'm back. Sorry about the other video. I was actually going to show you this part Wednesday night, but that didn't happen, so now it's Thursday night, and you'll see this on Friday. But this is the part of the video that I wanted to do. This is the project that I wanted to do the other day, and that was to simply show you the line, or a series of lines, that I'm going to string out. And again, it's all part of trying to lay out the garden so that as the space develops or as the space grows, I know where the boundaries are of everything, and you'll be able to hopefully follow along. Yeah, so I got string. That's the good news. Now, this isn't exactly a scientific method. This is, though, how I am choosing to do it. So I will be using some mason string, colored, and I'm going to sort of draw the lines. Now, I kind of did the same thing when I developed the vegetable garden, when I sort of spaced it out, and you can kind of see the posts here aren't exactly straight, and that's just the way it is. Again, I'm no expert at this, and I wasn't going for exact precision, just a general-ish, straight-ish line. Theoretically, one day, maybe, where I'm standing now will be, well, right in front of the fence here, will be hedging, boxwood hedging, approximately the height of the fence, 4 foot tall, and this fence will have been disappeared within the hedging, and I will allow the hedging to grow sort of through the fencing, and the fence will disappear, which again is the game. It's the goal, it's the game plan, it's the thought. But I'm gonna try to draw out the line further down. I'm gonna go all the way to the other end of the property. I'm gonna show you that, the far end, and then I'm gonna show you, I'm going to sort of stake out as well the grand walkway, or what will become the grand walkway, and the other future boundaries. So let's get stringing. By the way, it's like, what time is it? I think it's a little after 6 in the evening. About 6 o'clock in the evening. The sun, I should lose most of the sun about 7, so I have about an hour to work. And it's about 80 degrees right now, so yes, it is much more enjoyable to do this work now as opposed to even early in the morning when the sun's coming up and blaring down on you. Okay, now I did say that I wanted the front of the rose garden to be 60 feet wide. I believe the one side of the rose garden is also going to be 60 feet deep. Now the side here that's along the outside of the vegetable garden itself is 40 by 80. That is a perfect rectangle, and if you watched my earlier videos, I did say that was sort of the keystone of the entire garden. So whatever I did with the vegetable garden, fencing it out, laying it out, was actually going to impact and make the decisions for the rest of the garden. Now, I don't know how you guys have laid out your garden, if any of you have a garden this large, if you've had professional architects come in, professional measurers. I'm not a professional measurer. Again, this is just how I'm doing it. I think I'm a registered idiot, so I'm pretty sure I have a degree in ideology someplace. So this is the way I'm doing it. I'm going to take this tape measure. I'm going to run it from the post that's right here off camera that you can't see, all the way down to the post right there that you should be hopefully able to see. If not, we'll go down there in a few minutes, and I'm just going to verify that that's 60 feet. Once I know that's 60 feet, then I can move on to my next set of measurements. And it is 60 feet, which is good. Now there's one more thing I want to do, and that's put the post, when I put the post in down there, the wood stake, it's sort of just banged in and it's not sitting that deep. I would like actually to set it a bit further. I have a tool for that, and we're going to go do that now. Now some of you may have seen this before. This, if you've seen my earlier videos where I was putting in the fence posts for the vegetable garden, I have this wonderful DeWalt, I believe it's a stud drill. Doesn't actually say anywhere on here, and I'm not an expert, but I believe this is a stud drill. And I have a 2-inch power auger bit, and the posts that I'm putting in are 2 inches. Now these aren't permanent posts. These are markers, as it were, to again help me lay out who, what, where, when, why, and how. Only the vegetable garden is fenced, so only the vegetable garden has proper fence posts that are put into the ground. These stakes that I'm putting in now are temporary, and again, it's just to give me some sight lines. Now I'm going with these wooden stakes as opposed to the bamboo I've used earlier in projects, because the bamboo is a little harder to get in the ground sometimes, and because the heat and humidity down here in eastern North Carolina is a bit much sometimes, it seems to rot out the bamboo quickly, and if I bump into it, I snap the poles because the poles are rotting with all the moisture. So these wooden poles that I'm using are thicker, they're 2 inches thick, and they won't rot as quickly or as easily. So let's put in the first post and you can see what I'm talking about. Now again, the post was already in the ground, but it was only in so much, and I wanted it in deeper, which is now in deeper. So I used the power auger and I drilled down a bit. So now it's in deeper. Mosquitoes are starting to come out. I just noticed that. I better work quick before they really come out in force and they wind up devouring me. Now that bamboo stake right there, that's supposed to be the other, that's opposite the vegetable garden. And again, I'll try to do another shot to kind of give you a perspective here. But that's supposed to be the opposite side of the vegetable garden. The, let's say, east is that way, so it's the southeast, southwest-ish. It's south-facing, sort of, but I'll show you that in a second. That is the other side of the grand walkway, and we're going to go put in a few more posts so that when I stand back at the end, hopefully you then can see more of a clear view as to where I'm going with this whole posting, staking, grand walkway, rose garden, what am I talking about thing. It's a little over 20 feet, but that'll work. And this is the end of the bamboo stake, and it's getting pretty rotten. So, in fact, for some strange reason, oh, I know why, that's paint that I put on there. I thought it was turning green. Yeah, so it's getting there, it's rotting out. It's starting to fall apart again. The moisture, especially the moisture the dirt holds on, it's not good. So this stake is done. The more temporary permanent post is put in, and we're going to move on to the next one. It's getting dark. I need another stake and then we'll wrap this up. The sun's going down, or the sun is down behind the tree line now. It's getting darker. One more post and then I'll try to show you the vision, or my vision. Maybe I'm having visions, but let me show you. Okay, so hopefully you can now see the second pole down there. If not, I'll show you that in a minute. I know you can see the pole that's in the wood line, right? It's kind of over there. It's there. I hope you can see that. You know what? This string can wait. It's getting dark. I gotta get this done. You can see the edge of the vegetable garden right there. Now, I don't know if you can see the post on the one side of the compost pile all the way down there. That's going to be the end of the rose garden. Again, 60 feet wide, approximately 60 feet deep on the one side, 80 feet deep on the other. it won't be a square per se or rectangle because of the dimensions of the yard and stuff. I'll show you that on the garden design plan that I'm doing, that I will show you eventually, and I'll post up on the website. This post right over here is the front edge of the flower garden. The post on the other side of all that wood chips back there, which will eventually be turned into compost, which is in the middle of the grand walkway. Yeah, that's going to be the other end. It's approximately 80 feet long. So the flower garden will be approximately 80 feet long by approximately 90 feet-ish wide or deep on one side. I think the other side will be shorter, approximately 80 to 60 feet. I'm not sure. When we get to the designing and building out the flower garden, I'll do exact dimensions at that point. All the way back there, past the wood pile, the wood chip pile, is the far end of my property. Basically where you see that tree line back there. Now, part of the grand walkway goes sort of into the tree line. I can cut that back to the property line, which I will eventually do, so that you then have a clear view of the grand walkway. Again, 20 feet wide, and I don't know how long it is. If I remember, I'll put a length here. Whew. Whose idea was it to film at night when it's still hot out? So over towards this way, let me pull you forward here. Okay, so again, this stake is going to be the front corner of or the back corner, I should say, since the street's that way, but the back corner of the flower garden. Everything back that way, almost to that brown splotch right there on the ground, that's all going to be flower garden. Again, we'll get into more details when we get there. And then where that brown splotch is, all the way back to the tree line, that's going to be the orchard. The spaces are large. I don't have exact dimensions at this point. I will get you exact dimensions eventually if you follow along. If you hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon to be reminded of when I do post up a new video. I will get into details again as those spaces get built out. I don't set anything in stone at this point because things change a little bit. But the vegetable garden has set the cornerstone, as it were, for the rest of the garden. Now we're back to looking down the grand walkway, as it were. So yeah, this is pretty much going to be the view. Everything behind me will be flower garden, and you see the vegetable garden right over here. So you'll be going straight down. I will do probably some sort of decorative feature, maybe a gate at the end. The gate would technically lead onto the neighbor's property, but there's no neighbor there right now, and as a design feature it might be nice. Or maybe I'll just do hedges and then do a bench in front of it. I think there should be something at the end of the grand walkway. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment below if you have any ideas as to what maybe I should put at the end of the grand walkway. A bench, a gate, something. I don't know. I'm figuring this out as I go along. I have vague ideas of what I want to do, but nothing solid or set in stone. And I'm learning, again, grow my green finger, figuring all this out, learning what will grow, what won't grow here, what challenges I'm going to face. And yeah, I'll probably do a video on that shortly, about, or at least sometime in the near future, about what challenges I've faced since starting to garden down here in eastern North Carolina, Zone 8A, in case you're curious or you're just tuning in for the first time. So there it is. It's the grand walkway, or at least the layout's the grand walkway. If you don't follow me on Instagram, give a follow on Instagram. If you have any questions or comments about this video, please leave them below. There are links to merchandise below. You can buy yourself a t-shirt, a coffee mug, maybe even buy my first book. That's right, I wrote a book. It's not a very good book, but it's my book and I wrote it, so there you go. If you'd like to check out any of those links, those are posted below. If you have any, again, questions, comments, thoughts, ideas, please leave them below. Love to hear from you guys. A bunch of you did leave comments on my recent help video. Thank you very much for that. Did I mention Instagram? You should follow me again on Instagram. If I didn't mention Instagram, I'm mentioning Instagram again because I like Instagram, and even though they say they're getting away from pictures, I'm still for the pictures because a picture speaks 1,000 words. Anyways, that's it for tonight. I hope you guys have a good weekend. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.